excited today to round out the Transformers Legacy United, I guess it is, Doom and Destruction Mayhem Attack Squad sets that were really part of an Amazon capsule exclusive. Fun fact, apparently next year's capsule exclusive in 2025 for Amazon is going to be Wreckers versus Mayhem Attack Squad. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but I guess we will see. I have no intention of using this guy as Bludgeon. I have no intention of using this guy as a member of the Mayhem Attack Squad. I already have a Bludgeon for that. As for this guy, we know he is the last of the trio of Triggercons, but I don't particularly plan to have him be a part of the Mayhem Attack Squad. Maybe I'll have all three of them be a member of the Mayhem Attack Squad. Why not? Why not? Why not put the Triggercons as part of the Mayhem Attack Squad? Anyway, you cut it. This is going to be a 2-for-1 with these two lads in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please, it helps me out a ton. Let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below, also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And like I said, I am tickled to have these two. A lot of people wanted to get this set and said, I don't need another Bludgeon. Neither do I. I actually use my Hunt for the Decepticons version of Bludgeon as Bludgeon, and he's the one that I pair with my Mayhem Attack Squad. This guy I'm going to make into a Star Seeker, but I'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. For now, how about we head over to the table and take a closer look at these two. And yes, indeed, the Mayhem Attack Squad adds a couple of more members by way of the Doom and Destruction Legacy United Amazon exclusive capsule, I suppose. This is the latest 2-pack. We previously looked at, I want to make sure I get this right. We previously looked at Needle Nose and Breakdown. That was a pack. We previously looked at Barrage and Chop Shop that came with Malleus Minotaurus. Malleus Minotaurus is actually the assistant of Solus Prime. These are supposed to be members of the Mayhem Attack Squad, which is the Decepticons' answer to the Wreckers, basically. And we have two more members here, but the funny part is I don't plan to use either of these as members of the Mayhem Attack Squadron. At least, sorta. This is the beautiful comic book inspired artwork on the front of Ruckus and Bludgeon. This Bludgeon looks very different. It is based on the, I think, Stormbringer design, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to use it as Bludgeon. I'm using it as someone else. Over here we have the close-up of Bludgeon with his half face. I think that's so cool. Ruckus over here, the Mayhem Attack Squad insignia up there, which is a cool insignia. And on the back, of course, we can see, yes, an adaptation of the Tarn mold, as well as an adaptation of the Beachcomber mold. So, you know, that's it for the box. We have a large sheet of instructions that are actually really good. I promise I will be as expedient as possible. We have the last of our Triggercons by way of Ruckus here, and Ruckus is one of those that after G1, he's always been a exclusive of some sort, including now, but I'm so glad that I have this version. What a gorgeous homage to his G1 vehicle mode. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Of course, over here we have Bludgeon, who I'm going to use as someone different. I think it's a little easier to probably look at the Bludgeon mold first because we don't have to do the transformation. We did the transformation from robot to vehicle when we looked at Tarn, and we did the transformation from vehicle back to robot when we looked at the Tarn Cyberverse repaint reuse in the 4-pack. So we're going to take Ruckus out of it. We're going to focus on Bludgeon first. And as previously stated, this Bludgeon is based on the Stormbringer design, which did have the half a face. It was green and gold. I'm going to say right now that the coloration here is probably a 9 because I'm not a big comic book guy, though I did look at some images. I didn't analyze them super close. To me, Bludgeon is you know, green and orange, right? He has a full skull face. Like, that's my version. I know that there's the Legacy United version that the design is more along the line of Alex Milne's design, and I know that there is the version that came out as like part of the like movie line. That's the version I have as my Bludgeon. Love this mold. The transformation, I'm telling you now, is a 10. So a 9 for the look and a 10 for the transformation. In tank mode, this rolls fine. You will notice that I have the sword put up here, but I mean, again, you can put it in this post or any of the posts along the side. It does roll quite well. It doesn't roll well because it has molded in nubs, but it slides fine, I suppose. I like the look of this, I really do. To me though, like I said, I'm going to use them as someone else. We'll talk about that when we get to robot mode. Again, how you orient the cannons, how you orient the sword, that's up to you. With all this on, yes, this does move, which I think is cool because being Bludgeon, I mean, he could slice you and shoot at you. I mean, come on, right? Yeah, not much more to say about this, so we're going to go from him looking like this in tank mode 2. Bludgeon looking like this, and of course he's alongside the Tarn mold. Obviously a new head sculpt. I do love this head sculpt with the, like, you know, wires and stuff where his lower jaw should be. A whole new chest remolded as well. Besides that, I think all the parts are the same. No mold degradation. This is the tightest version of this mold that I own. I own 2 versions of this. I own the regular version of this, and I had a 4th version that I looked at. But this, the tightest. That said, I have yet to be able to successfully do the transformation without popping this chest piece off. I can always do it with this chest piece just fine, but this one does like to pop off, at least on my copy. Still, I'm going to say the transformation is a 10. I'm sure it's just me being a butterfingers with it. The look, a 9. The articulation for this mold, again, the head goes left and right and a little up and down. The arms can go really all the way around, up to the side. We know that this goes in, bicep swivel, elbow to 90 degrees, wrist. The fingers open and close. Granted, when you bring the arm out front, it cannot go to the side. That's the one articulation limit. We have all the way up to the side here. We have a free-flowing waist. We have, you know, hips all the way out to the side. We have legs all the way forward and back, thigh swivel, nice knee to a little over 90 degrees, ankle tilt. I mean, it has everything you could want. To me, however, I'm going to use this and rename this guy as Plunder. If you don't know who Plunder is, Plunder was actually like a little, I guess you'd call him a mini-con, I suppose. But he's a Star Seeker. And he was built by Farak, and Farak is known for building like a lot of mean things. So in my headcanon, I'm going to actually pair this guy with my Star Seekers. I'm going to make him another member of Thundertron's crew, and instead of him being like a little targeting master guy who was sort of a teal greeny color, we're going to say that this time around Plunder was given a full body by Farak, and this is the body. That way I can still incorporate this mold into my collection while adding to the Starseeker crew, while simultaneously not taking away anybody from the Mayhem Attack Squad, because of course I have another Bludgeon that stands in as Bludgeon as a member of the Mayhem Attack Squad. I love that. I love when I'm able to kind of repurpose this as someone else. Tremendous mold. Tremendous mold. As for that head sculpt that I mentioned, look how grotesquely sinister it is. And then there was Ruckus. And Ruckus rolls super well. Again, he has, people are going to call them rubber tires, but they're not. It is a plastic. I can't remember what it's called now. I did talk about it more in Beachcomber's review, because some people have been concerned that by using these rubber tires, we're going to end up having degradation and they'll break down over time. Word is that this plastic will not degrade and break down like rubber would. It should stay as robust as what it is now. This is a reuse and a remold of the Beachcomber, and I love the Beachcomber. So we're going to do the transformation. We will show it this time. going back the other way. Granted, this is a little bit different than Beachcomber, but you know what? I think it'll be close enough that you'll get the idea. Like Beachcomber, he comes with the exact same blaster that doubles as a grill on the front of the vehicle. Love that. These two were detached, and you'll see that there are pegs here. He can hold them and wield them as blasters, or they have a hole at the end that go over a peg right here. Again, you can keep these up, or you can push these all the way down if you're so inclined. That's up to you. Again, rolls tremendously well. So, it feels very robust too. Yeah, the head is certainly there. You can certainly see the robot mode underneath. But man, what a glorious homage to the G1 vehicle. Let's do the transformation. So I'm gonna turn our guy around. I love, by the way, that all the tires are also pinned and painted silver. I'm going to remove that blaster from the front, and you're just using this peg to put it in, and we're going to lay that blaster to the side. Okay, now this guy is actually really tight. The way the arms and stuff are pegged in is super tight, so we'll see how this goes. Oh man, this is going to be the hard part, I think, is trying to get things started, honestly. The trick will be definitely to find where to start. There you go, unpegged an arm. And you'll notice it was a bit challenging, I'm not gonna lie, but I think that that's the best way to go. You got to, again, unpeg an arm. And here's the thing with the arms. Let me kind of cover this now. So, you have a bunch of locking points. You have a little rectangular tab on the inside of the arm that goes into a slot here on the side. The hand really needs to be angled this way, where you have the hole facing like outward. It's not the way it would be. It's like it's palm forward on the arm, right? That's the only way I can get it to fit up under here. And then there's also a tab right here, a rectangular tab right here, that slots into a rectangular slot right here. It's super tight. It's a bit of a nuisance to get there, but super tight when it's in. When you have these out, rotate the wrist around, and again over here, rotate the wrist around. Okay, if you're inclined, I guess you could pick those up. Then we should be able to, I believe, yeah, untab the kind of roof section and windshield, and open out, if you didn't do it already, though they'll kind of push it on their own. If they didn't do it already, open out these tabs, or these panels here on the bottom, and now you can flip all of that down. Once you have all of that flipped down, flip that in, split the legs, bring up a heel, bring up a heel. Bring these over the shoulders, and I suppose we might as well put his blaster in his hand. Though if you, put his blaster in his hand. Why am I having such a time with that? Hold on here, folks. There we go. Whew. Or you could put it in the side of his arm, or you could put it back here in, I guess probably any of these, but certainly that one. It's up to you kind of what you do with it. But in the end, boom, here we have Ruckus in his robot mode. And here he is next to Beachcomber. Both are a deluxe, but look how much bigger Ruckus is because of the redesigned feet on the guy. So we'll take him off. I adore that he's so big in height that like he's almost Voyager. Love it. He definitely, of the 3 Triggercons that we have, he definitely has the best like shoulder blasters, because we also have Crankcase here, right? And Crankcase just has the little nubs over his shoulders. They're kind of pathetic, really. And we do have Needle Nose over here. Not Needle Nose, Windsweeper, I mean. I think I said Needle Nose earlier too. Windsweeper, who came with 2 Target Masters, but really, that should just be flip out blasters on his arms. And that's mimicked here by having the Target Masters on his arms. Love that we have all 3 of the Triggercons. Now, I said that I wasn't going to use either of these guys as part of the Mayhem attack squad, but you know what? Technically, I think what I'm going to do, again, my headcanon, is I'm going to just say that all of the Triggercons are part of the Mayhem attack squad. In terms of look, for Ruckus. In terms of, actually, transformation for Ruckus. Let's do that first since we already did the transformation. I'm going to say that the transformation is a little more, I don't want to say cumbersome because that's not right, but trying to get, like, to go from vehicle back to robot and to go from robot to vehicle, tabbing in the arms in all of the places they lock is a bit of a chore, but it's super solid once it's done. And if you're going back to robot, it's a bit of a chore to kind of take that out. I don't know if there's an easier way to do it. I haven't found it yet. I'm going to say that the transformation's about a 9. In terms of the look of the guy, I mean, 9.75. We're missing some detail on the hips, I guess, thicker detail on the hips. But starting from the bottom, working our way up, like this detail on the side of the leg is correct. The silver and the toes and the long feet, that's correct. Even the detail in here is generally correct. It's all silver. I suppose it should be a bit of purple and yellow thrown in there. The thighs are purple, but they should be beige, but I'm okay with them being purple. The whole beige torso, the beige over the shoulder cannons, the arms, and even this detail, though it's on the forearm, it should be up on the shoulder. I'm okay with it on the forearm. Like, I'm going to say that it's super close. I'm giving it a 9.75. A 9 and a 9.75. What about the articulation for the guy? The head goes left. It goes right. It can kind of wiggle up and down. The arms aren't going to go all the way over. Well, no, they can if you get them out a little bit. The shoulders go up, really only hindered by the tires. But I mean, I think that's a good amount of T-pose. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it is a good amount. We do have a waist on the guy, which is tremendous. Legs forward, legs back, thighs swivel, knee to 90 degrees. I guess heel, right heel movement. And admittedly, the weirdest ankle tilt that looks more like halfway up the shin. But it is an ankle tilt, and it is there, and he is solid on his feet. Most of what I want is there. I'm going to say, man, he was getting a 9 and a 9.75, so that would give him a 9.25 average. I'm going to say his articulation is a 9.25. I think Ruckus overall is a 9.25. So as the set as a whole, while I think a lot of people are going to overlook this set because they're going to say, I want Ruckus, I don't need that bludgeon. Man, they're both tremendous. An overall score of about 9.5. It's an excellent set. In fact, it's probably my favorite of the Mayhem Attack Squad sets. My favorite of the Doom and Destruction sets. And here we are, and here they are. So let's start first and foremost with this guy. I'm going to use him as Pillage. Not Plunder. Pillage and Plunder are two little target masters, basically, that were built by Farak, who is like the weapons creator, tinkerer, gunsmith, whatever you want to call it, of the Star Seekers. And the reason I'm going to go with Pillage, the reason I'm going with Plunder is because Plunder is like kind of a tealy greeny color, and this guy has a lot of green on him. And instead of being like a little, blaster, this time Farak made him into a full-size bot, a full-size tank. Why not adapt this iteration of Bludgeon? Because I'm not connected to IDW or the Stormbringer comics or anything like that. To me, this doesn't look like Bludgeon, but I love the mold, love the character. It's tremendous. Love this look. So much paint. It's so great. I wish that the chest stayed on, but minor. I think that it makes sense in my own head canon, and this is just me having fun, to say, hey, why not make him into a full-size tank with blasters over his shoulders rather than being a little blaster to be used himself? Yeah, this is a great mold. I love it for Tarn. I love it for the Tarn clones I have, which are two of the Cyberverse ones. One of them I got by help of our buddy Casey. But yeah, it's a fantastic mold. So I'm very, very happy to have it again. I always feel like I get my money's worth with it. And then we come to this. Love the Beachcomber. And you know what? This is also tremendous. It's solid. It's chunky. It's hefty. All of this being a big, solid chunk on the back. He has the best blasters over his shoulders when compared to Crankcase or compared to Windsweeper. And he's tall. He's taller than all of them. He's pretty much a Voyager height because of these, admittedly, weird feet. But you know what? He had big, long feet in G1 as well. The tampos are great. They homage G1 even if they kind of look like they're upside down. It's just like somebody used upside down stickers. The only thing that kind of eats me up is when I'm trying to like clip this rectangular tab into the side of the leg. I haven't quite figured out the way to finesse that yet, but it's a small thing. If you fiddle with it enough, you'll get it. Super solid in vehicle mode, super solid in robot mode, well articulated, well done in every way, shape, and form. What's not to love? Some have complained and said, his chest is bare beige. It's supposed to be. In alt mode, he has like a visible head. Okay, then turn it around if it bothers you that much. I think it's splendid. I really do. Absolutely love the set. Like I said, I think it's my favorite of these Doom and Destruction sets. Let me know what you think about this duo. Let me know if you're keeping both of them, if you value one over the other, or if you're going to repurpose one of them into a completely different character like I did with that Bludgeon. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, and have some fun with us. And please, don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.